Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Wag Woof Love. I am so happy you're joining me today. Today, I want to talk about dogs and personality. And yes, dogs have personality, and they have different personalities from one another. My many years of being a dog walker, I saw the very, very different types of personalities that dogs could have. There were some dogs that when they saw me were like, oh, she's here and it's not mom or dad, and there were some dogs that saw me and they were like, "Woo, she's here to walk us." They were over the moon to see me. They knew why I was there. And each dog had a different type of a personality. When I would walk some dogs, they would be all business and they just wanted to go around the neighborhood and see everything and take their route, and they kind of led me for a walk rather than me walking them. Some dogs like to stroll and sniff and socialize a little bit, and they would say hi to people along the road. I had this enormous Rhodesian who was a very sweet, gentle, loving old dog, and he would take me around the neighborhood. And there were certain people who just loved to reach out and pet him, and he was okay with it because they knew him from being walked by his mom and dad, and that was his personality of just loving people. So yes, dogs have varying personalities, and what I like to keep in mind is that, as humans, two people can look at one other person and look at their face and see somebody who's not smiling. One person may see a grumpy person, and another sees sereneness in somebody who may be lost in thought. Just remember that there are many ways to interpret a dog's behavior. My dog, Millie, she can be just sitting, being calm, and you might think she's a little grouchy. Sometimes she lets out a little growl, so maybe she is. I have some past experience to kind of know that. She doesn't always feel great. And then there's Violet, who is she just looks like a happy dog. She has like a kind of a smiling face, and she loves people, but occasionally I have to be careful because she is a big dog and she does have a reaction to people and she does like to bark at them, and it scares them and it kind of scares her. And but that is her personality of wanting to know people, and the change in the personality because people's reactions because she is a big dog. So keep in mind that it is our interpretation and others' interpretations of those personalities. When you have a new dog, you know that it takes time to get to know that personality, to see what they're like, for you to kind of mesh and for you to kind of teach the dog the ropes of the house and how things are going to be, and have them adjust a little bit and be in groove with the way you have life of your personality, and knowing that you're their pet parent and how things are going to be, and that they adapt their personality to yours. So enjoy your dogs with their personality and the differences in their personalities. Like I said, my dogs have very different personalities. It doesn't hinder to have two different dog type of personalities in one house because one is bossy and one is not. This takes me up to a question that somebody sent in of how long is it going to take for them to train their dog? And that depends on the dog and what kind of training that you're doing and what you want it to do, what you're teaching it to do, what you're training it to do. And I get it from my experience as a pet owner, as a pet parent. I'm not a trainer, I'm a walker, but it can take time. And depending on if your dog is was adopted as a puppy and you're training a puppy, are you training an adult dog that you adopted? Old dogs do learn new tricks. They definitely do. And also, are we being consistent in our actions? I know with my training that I do, when I'm not finding my dog's training coming along as much, I think about the consistency of my actions. I think about the consistency of the training and the steps I've been told to take to follow to keep my dogs doing what I'm trying to do. Like Violet, she's a barker. She barks when we're out walking. They do slide back from time to time. Now, do they slide back just because I just kind of want my own walk and I'm keeping on walking and I'm not following what I've been trained to do, what Eve has taught me to do in training her? Or is she just sliding back because she's just going to need that consistent reinforcement of how to behave when we're out? Because I don't always stop her from being excited. She's a dog. Uh, but there are things that I like to do to keep her on track and keep us walking. So consider there's a number of reasons of why it's taking time for your training to really get a fully trained dog. I know Millie when she was young, she walked with our older dog, and she was an amazing walker. And along came Violet. When Violet was the new dog in the house, and there's just the two dogs, we didn't walk as much. And so when we took Millie out, Millie needs a little training. Millie gets a little wound up because she feeds off of Violet's being very rambunctious, very wound up because she's so excited to go out walking. And so it took a little training on both sides, a little bit of a refresher and a little bit of fresh training for Violet. But it all works out. And remember, it may take a while to train your dog, but that's okay. You may go through a groove where you really get it going well, and there might be a setback. You do a little bit of a refresher training, and then you go through a nice long groove of having the dogs being trained and doing what you need to do, having them not barking in the house or coming to you when they're called. Whatever it is that's the focus of your training that they really learn and they really get, it will come. Have patience, and I say this in a way of don't be hard on yourself. Just reassess where you're at. Think about what you're doing. Think about what your trainer has told you to do and how to teach your dog. Maybe you need a few refresher lessons. We took Millie to a few refresher lessons when we needed it. As we have Violet, she's getting some refresher lessons, and that's okay. It's a lifelong relationship with your dog. And eventually, you may not need any type of training because you'll have it down pat. You both know what the other one needs and expects and wants. It's a bit of a form of communication too. So take your time training your dog, have patience, take a deep breath, and enjoy and love your dog, love your life with your dog. And if you do have any questions, I do have Eve coming up on the show. If you have training questions, please feel free to send them in. We'd be happy to try to answer them on the show. If you have any questions or comments, you go to wagwooflove.com and use the contact form. I will get all of those via email. I'm so happy you're joining me today. And if you're listening to this, please subscribe wherever you're listening to it. All right. Thank you so much. And ta ta for now.